So we just crossed from Hong Kong into China.
What's the name of the city we crossed into? Shenzhen Bay. So just crossed from Hong Kong to Shenzhen Bay, currently in the car right now, heading to Four Seasons Guangzhou, so it's about an hour and a half drive. Once we're there, we're going to drop our bags off, going to rest for the day, maybe go out for dinner tonight, maybe do a bit of exploring, and then off to Canton Fair tomorrow. So right now it's 14th of April, we're going Canton Fair 15th, rest day in between, then 17th, and then we're going to figure it out from there. So keep you along for the journey. So we just got our room here. So we're on the 75th floor. So we just touched down in Guangzhou, so ready to go to the Canton Fair. We've just dropped our bags off, we're going to go grab some dinner, so I'm chilling here in the lobby right now. As you can see, it's pretty epic. It's not actually the lobby is actually on the 70th floor, but this is just the waiting room with escalators up to the lobby. So I think from floors 1 to 69 it's all office buildings, so it's pretty cool, and there's my cousin there. So I'm going to go grab some Japanese for dinner. I'm going to chill tonight, we've just only arrived. So tomorrow's going to be Canton Fair. She's organised a videographer that's going to be following me around the whole time. Check out the stalls, see what's available, and hopefully find some winning products. Potentially something that I can add to my current product range, or maybe some ideas for you guys. So we're going to have a play around and yeah, just see what we come up with. So I think the biggest play for me going to a place like this is to try and broker some sort of deal. Leveraging my existing company, maybe reaching out to potential try and get government contracts, find a good supplier there that I can fulfill that contract with, and yeah, so that's like a good way where you can make, you know, the big 7-figure deals. Is just connecting the supplier through my business, running it through my business, and then using it for some sort of government or big business project, so like B2G or B2B. Yeah, I think we're kind of in the right spot now. We're looking for big sort of portable homes, portable cabins, things like that, which is hard to categorise. So we're in the construction materials part, which I think is suitable, but we're going to have a look. As you can see, there's cars here, so we're going to have a walk down. So just finished at the Canton Fair. It is currently 3:40, so we're there for almost 5 hours. Yeah, so we've got this one which might be interesting. Some of these which might be interesting as well. Yeah, they're all pretty good. Yeah. Thank you. So actually we found maybe 3 or 4 potentials that we'll look at in the future. Once we get back in the hotel room. Yeah. So this one's quite useful for us because we sell things that need to get fixed into the ground, like tiny home, portable bathrooms, portable offices, things like that. So this one could be quite useful. And really just happened to stumble across it, which was good because we were walking around the edges at the start, couldn't find anything that resembled what we were looking for. But then we started walking down the aisles and that's when we came across this. So this is going to be super useful. And then yeah, we're going to look a bit more into it about, yeah, I think we've got about 2 or 3 other brochures. So potentially 4 good ones there. One definite really good one, as long as we go and check them out and make sure everything's all good. Obviously we've got to do a bit of due diligence before pressing the go button. Yeah, pretty successful first day. Alright guys, so we're at the Canton Fair, day 2. So the reason we go to Canton Fair, and instead of just browsing through AliExpress, is you can see thousands of suppliers in a single day. So the plan today is just go through, see if we can find some suppliers for any of our businesses, maybe get some new ideas on products that we could start, get some product ideas to you guys, and basically just try and get the brain juices flowing, see what's possible, see what new tech's out there. And yeah, just see if we can create any leverage by finding new suppliers of our current product ranges or supplementary products that can include in any of our businesses. And yeah, meet some people, get some contact information, exchange business cards, and if we find anyone really good, then we'll tee up a factory visit for later in this week. So I haven't booked a return flight to New Zealand just yet, just in case we do find something good. Yeah, so I've left my plans open just in case I do need to plan extra factory visits or things like that. So right now what we might do is we'll grab a coffee real quick. So luckily today the weather's not too hot. First day was like 32 degrees, scorching. Today it's nice, and it doesn't seem to be as hectic. Granted, we already have badges, so we don't have to wait in the massive 2-hour line. But yeah, we're gonna go get a coffee now. Yeah, just ice black. And that's the beauty about these products, is you don't need to invent anything. All of the stuff's already invented for you. Sure, you might want to make some adjustments to it in the future, depending on how much money you've got at the start. Depends on whether or not you can do highly custom products, because most people would want, most suppliers would want a minimum order quantity if they're going to be producing a whole bunch of custom stuff for you. However, you can always start with their products, especially if their products haven't been introduced, or that type of product hasn't been introduced to the country before. You can get away with just using someone else's product and then customizing over time to better suit your market, your market's needs. So that's what I see as an opportunity. You don't need to invent new things. Come here, see what's available. So we've got a whole lot of different types of smart locks. So we're off to see a new supplier, and here are 4 things I look for when I'm checking for a new supplier. So first is clear communication, especially in English. You're going to be dealing with these people daily. You're going to be dealing with the suppliers daily. So you need to make sure that they can communicate, especially if there's any problems. If you want to place specific orders, want customizations, you need to make sure that you're both speaking the same language. Next is product quality. Obviously, this can be a little bit tricky to check. If you're not actually at the factory. If you're at the factory, obviously it's really straightforward. If they've got any, specification documents, build plans, depending on what the product is, they could share that with you, materials, and then you can always go to someone that, in my case, if we're bringing in like a tiny home, for example, to speak to an engineer and an architect, just making sure everything is good, just by handing them the build plans, like what goes into the house, materials used, things like that. Next is the capacity. Like how many products can they do? Let's say you scale real fast, so you get a massive order for, let's say you're selling sofas to a hotel and they want a sofa for every room and they've got 300 rooms. Like, how can that supplier keep up with that production capacity? Would it have the production capacity to fulfill that? Because the last thing you need is a supplier bottlenecking your business. Especially if you're starting to make, it's a $20,000 order, $30,000. The last thing you need is a supplier that can't produce fast enough. That leads me on to my next point, is a willingness to improve the product based on customer feedback. So this is super important. Obviously, if you are, a small percentage of their total sales, the supplier's total sales, they might not be as inclined to work with you. Whereas if you are, a larger client to them, they'd be obviously more willing because they want to keep you business. And generally, suppliers should be open to improving their products or catering to your specific market needs, as long as you communicate to them that it's going to result in more sales for them. And finally, this is something I've been thinking about recently a lot, is the introduction to new technology into how they're building their products. So, for example, if they're building, again, I keep referencing the tiny homes, but that's what I know the best. If lots of the suppliers that we're working with now use robots for like welding, things like that. And the good thing about that is you're going to get consistent quality products because you're eliminating human error. Plus, also, what that would do as well is it would reduce the cost of producing the product. Sometimes it might reflect It might reflect in the supplier's pricing, it might not. They might even charge more because it's a more consistent quality product. So those are the 4 things to keep in mind: clear communication, consistent product quality, capacity to fulfill, production capacity. Obviously, your future tracking here, so it can be hard to assess this, but that's just something to keep in mind. Willing to improve the product based on feedback, and a new one, what sort of equipment and technology they have at their factory.
Having a quick break before we fly to Heng Shui, so heading there at 11:30 tonight. It is currently 2:40 PM, so we've got about 8 hours to kill, so I thought we'd head to the cigar shop, then going for a massage, and then after that we probably still got another 4 hours or so to kill before we need to head to the airport. So we're getting picked up by the supplier. He's organised a car to pick us up from the airport, and then hotels for us. He was kind enough to do that, so that was really nice of him. So tomorrow we're going to visit one of the factories, and then after that we're going to visit another factory, and after that the supplier's going to take us around. He wants to show us the Great Wall, so that's going to be interesting, so I'm going to bring you guys along for that. We're smoking the Davidoff cigar, and it is bloody good. It's actually probably one of the nicest cigars I've smoked. It's pretty smooth. I like how it's like a square. I'm not sure you can see. Normally they're like round. This one holds in your hand a lot nicer as well. So the first 3 hires I made for my import-export business was first salesperson. So I don't really like doing sales. I prefer to be on the back end, doing the marketing, steering the general direction of the business. So if you are super comfortable doing sales, then what you might do is hire a marketer instead of a salesperson. In my instance, I'm the marketer, so I hired the salesperson first. Then I hired a virtual assistant just to handle the everyday tasks. The good thing about virtual assistants is that it's really good early on because you're not sure how your business is going to go. You're not sure if you're going to have lots of sales or a little amount of sales. So I recommend using onlinejobs.ph. When I posted my first job application, I was able to get like 30-40 applicants. From there I narrowed it down and jumped on a video call with some of them. Generally, when it comes to hiring, you want to go ideally look for a software first, something that you can just pay like a subscription and it'll do it for you. Next would be like an AI, which is similar to a software. Then it'd be a VA. Then it'd be an employee. Just depends on what the role is or what you need them for. So first I got a salesperson because I'm a marketer. If you're more of a salesperson, then you might want to hire a marketer instead. Then it was a virtual assistant. And then it's like an admin person that sort of handles everything else. So those are the 3 hires that I started with, and I'm still working with them now. So I've been working with them for about a year or so, all of them. And yeah, this year we're looking to potentially bring on 2 more types of people. So the next one's going to be a project manager, which is going to handle the customer fulfillment, organising the logistics. So those are the 3 hires that I recommend, as well as partners with the logistics and the trucking company.
In Chinese tradition, if you can do the hero's walk, you become a man. So today I officially became a man. So it's a bit of a walk. If you do the whole thing, it'll take you bloody ages. It'd be good just to spend the day here, just wander around, keep it 100. Here we go. On the Great Wall, catching a luge down. So I just finished walking the Great Wall. We didn't walk a fraction of it. We ended up tobogganing down, which I'm sure you would have seen.